Hey, it's Alex Williams of the New Stack. Welcome to the New Stack Makers, a podcast where we talk about application development, deployment, and management at scale. Look at this tank top. Look at this. It's like the source code from the serverless framework.
Yes, sir.
I'm with Charmmie. Is it Charmmie or Charmmie?
Charmmie
Hendon of Serverless. And I met Charmmie yesterday, and I've known Austin, I've known Serverless for a while. Charmmie, it's really nice to meet you. I really enjoyed talking with you over the past 2 minutes.
Alex, I've heard a lot about you too from our entire team. They're huge fans. And we had such a great talk and really made me feel so excited to be in this space right now. So thank you.
Great. So Charmmie, tell us a little bit about your background. You now work at Serverless. Tell me about your career, because you grew up in the Silicon Valley, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, I'm actually a rare unicorn. I'm a local from the San Francisco Bay Area. I grew up in the Sunset, and my parents.
Oh, really?
Yes,
cool.
Grew up in the Sunset. Then my parents moved us down to Cupertino back in the late 80s, early 90s because of the school districts. And I grew up with Apple 1 mile away from my house, and there were still orchards in Cupertino back in the days. So it was like Apple, orchards, suburbs, very different environment at that time. And yeah, I came from a lot of artistic pursuits. You know, I was a radio DJ for 2 years in high school at a college station, super involved in the music scene in the Bay Area, studied art, lived in Scotland and Germany, worked in the art world for about 10 years. Then I moved into fashion, high fashion sales, representing emerging designers, getting their collections into the best stores all over the world, and got burnt out and wanted to work in tech.
And so, tell me about that world and that fashion world, and and how you decided to get into technology from that.
Well, when Amazon showed up in Paris at the showrooms, that was very eye-opening.
What did they? So they showed up So Amazon showed up at the
designer showrooms.
So why were they there?
Good question. I was also wondering the same thing, and then I started to realize why they were there. As you all know, everybody's buying everything online, and they were starting to create a business around high fashion items, a whole department in their company selling high fashion. So I was really intrigued because no matter, I grew up in Cupertino. I was trying to get away from all this tech, and I wasn't interested at the moment at that time. But then I see Amazon in Paris directly across from me, and thinking, wow, I think there's a little bit of a sign here, and seeing the sales in retail go down in general, I knew that there was this big shift going on in fashion. So I like to think that I'm good at reading signs and reading trends, and so I knew I had to dip. I knew I had to change something.
And that business is still very, very much the same as it's been for the past 50 years. These designers that I've seen, a few documentaries on, fashion icons, and there was that one film that came out in the late 2017, the Thread and what we get, but it really hasn't changed a lot. Very, very standard kind of thinking about how you make a dress and how you make any kind of fashion.
Mm-hmm. So one thing about, to your point, the thing I didn't like about fashion, especially high fashion, was they're very stuck in conventional things sometimes, especially certain business models. And I was a salesperson. I need to make money. I need to make things happen. And when you're stuck with such conventional thinking around that, there's not much you can do. What I loved about tech and learning more about tech, and I've always known this, it's always about being innovative. It's always about being controversial and pushing everything, being the first to do it. Innovation. I was all about that. And when I saw Amazon in Paris, it was like a click moment. It was just this, I need to change something. And I knew at that moment I was going to end up selling half of my business pretty soon, and I needed to move on.
So you sold half your business?
Yes, I did, to my business partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the business still going then?
Yes, actually it is. They're very successful still, but it's just a lot of hustle. Fashion is a lot faster in terms of than tech, if you can believe it or not. They're pushing product every 3 months. So when you're pushing product every 3 months, there's a level of insanity, a level of do or die, jumping off the cliff a lot of times, just getting it done. So coming to tech, this was the right speed for me. I was like, okay, I'm not pushing product every 3 months, and I actually get to take a breath and think about what we're doing here. So
last time we were talking a little bit about the intersection of fashion and tech. What is it? How do you see that intersection there? And then maybe we could talk about, what you created for this event.
Oh yeah.
And we'll. But first of all, tell me about how you feel, how you are starting to see that intersection, because it's kind of an interesting place for you to be, because the serverless space really speaks to a next generation of developers who will learn these practices and be able to get up and going very quickly. Someone on your team yesterday was talking about that on stage, and how they learned how to make an app by using the serverless framework.
So the intersection of fashion and tech, that's already been happening, and that's why Amazon was already making their presence known in the fashion weeks. I also have some very talented friends who were in the fashion industry now going into fashion and tech. They're starting these really amazing collectives. They're innovating fabric and production and all kinds of things to think of fashion in a different way, and using technology for that. So there were many pieces to this that were very appealing to me, and I wanted to learn more about that space. And I'm never one to cut myself off on anything. I always want to learn. And serverless, I'm not trying to be commercializing this, but the company has been incredibly supportive of everything that I've been wanting to do and want to try, because my whole goal is to create a company and a culture that actually is super original and kick-ass. I want to be really just well known for being innovative in all forms.
So tell us about you came. When did you start thinking about this tank top and dress idea? What was the idea? What was the thought?
Honestly, I hate tech t-shirts. I was not about it. When I saw, I knew I was working at a startup, so I said, oh my God, out of my own vanity, I own it. I'm totally vain. I love to look good. It's only for me. It's my little daily armor. I want to feel good in whatever I'm in. And that tech t-shirt was so not is raining on my parade. I was like, no, this is not happening. So essentially, I also noticed that after coming from an industry of a lot of strong, brilliant women, and a lot of strong, brilliant gay men, coming into an industry of a lot of men, I also saw there was a little bit of a need to kind of bolster and create a dialogue around looking at things that people might overlook regularly, like t-shirts and swag. I was like, we need to change this up. So that's why I did this, because I knew the reaction would be really positive, and it has been. I mean, everyone, even men at the conference, have been like, wow, I want something like that.
So what have they been saying?
Oh my gosh. So all the women I've met so far at the conference want this tank top, or they want something of it. I've been approached by a couple people to help them with their company and their swag idea and just other ways to make them stand out. And because you guys are trying to stand out, we're trying to stand out with our products and our everything we're doing at Serverless. We've just released the platform. This is what we're here for, right? We're trying to stand out and push things forward. Well, let's do that on all levels. And so something as easy as this, I don't know why it wasn't done earlier. It was such a no-brainer for me, and yeah.
So let's talk about it. So what is the fabric?
So the fabric is a custom print that actually Austin Collins helped me with.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did.
Where did you find it?
So the print itself is obviously our framework code.
Yeah.
Okay. The fabric is I got it custom printed on spoon flower. It's a clip de chine. It's a poly, so it's a very light poly. And and it's flowy. I specifically chose this fabric because of the movement and how it would drape. And I cut the fabric on a bias so that it just looks better on the body. It hangs better.
Yeah. So what's next then?
I really want to design suits. Like, I really want to put my entire team, we have mostly men, and I just want them looking super sharp, like ready to go, conquer the world, amazing serverless tinted suits. So it's not going to be cheesy or tacky. It's going to be very tasteful, but people will know they are from serverless.
What's the reception for it internally?
We need to figure out the funding for that. The budget. Austin's all about it, but I need to get a little bit more funding around it. So we'll see.
How do the engineers feel about dressing up in suits?
I don't know, and I don't care. Sorry.
That's what we love to hear. I don't know, and I don't care. Yeah, I mean, if you're on booth duty, you gotta look the part, right?
Dude, I mean, I want to have conversations. I'm learning just as much as I am trying to learn JavaScript at the moment, and I did learn a little bit of Python as well, because I want to know what this is all about, and I want to know how this all works. And just as much as those conversations are so important to me, this is also very important to me, So, again, we just need to not be so focused on what we're just doing, and we need to always look at the bigger picture and look at the world and the things that we can really create. So.
That's fantastic. Now that you've been in this business less than 6 months ago?
Oh my gosh, last October.
Last October?
Yeah.
And what are your feelings about kind of the state of this, what do you think about the work, and what do you think about the people in the work? It's still, as you said, still very much dominated by men, but what is the model that you would like serverless to be for just building a larger community?
I want us to always create a strong empathy piece, an empathy path. Everybody wants to just be comfortable in their own skin. Everybody wants to be comfortable with who they are. And I think us as a company, we really focus on making sure everyone's heard. What other startup would have allowed, first of all, hired someone straight out of fashion to be able to kind of start doing her thing, and then give her the opportunity to do it and be successful at it and be super supportive. This serverless is all about that, and I love that innovative thinking, the true innovative thinking, which is to allow outsiders to help and to inject their own influence into the culture. So serverless, we thought differently with the framework. When we created it, we wanted to democratize and make it all available to everyone, so everyone can be part of it. The same goes for the other things that we're trying to do.
Right. Well, it's really fun to get to meet you here, and Austin has just done so much for this world. And,
absolutely.
And his background in LA and your background in fashion, and in between film and fashion and serverless technology. There's runways in the future here.
We have actually had a few comments from one or two engineers who said they really wanted to work with us when they found out the kind of bands Austin listened to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did they follow him on Spotify or something?
It was during the interview process. I think it came up. And
what are some of the bands?
Pavement, Sonic Youth. These are all bands that I love. I grew up listening to them. They're a huge influence in my life. Pixies. Austin loves all these bands. My Bloody Valentine. So it was like one of the engineers was like, I knew I wanted to work there when he said he loved Fugazi.
I'd work there. Those were great. I come from an early area where it was like English Beat.
Yes.
It was The Cure.
Yes, the Specials.
It was the Specials.
Yes, I love the Specials.
It was the Violent Femmes.
Yes.
So there's a path there. Well,
absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk today, and I think things are starting to pack up here. So maybe we'll just call this a day. But where are you off to next?
I gotta help pack up our booth, and I think you might see us at reInvent. I mean, we will be there. I don't know what I'm wearing yet, so we'll see.
We'll wait for the suits. All right, Charmmie, thank you so much.
Alex, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Listen to more episodes of The New Stack Makers at thenewstack.io/podcast. Please rate and review us on iTunes, like us on YouTube, and follow us on SoundCloud. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.